And welcome back to Before the Bounce, live at the Hour. I'm Greg Anderson and my co-host Matty Knight. So far so good, mate. So far so good. Episode number 1.
That's it. No, so far it's been good fun. Had some absolute amazing guests on so far. So it's been awesome.
Yeah. Now we're going to jump into country footy.
Yep.
Fantastic. I know you've got your finger on your pulse there, which is good. Love my country footy. We're going to be talking money about the Barossa Light.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll so I'm obviously heavily involved in the Barossa Light League with Gawler Central. So we'll talk a lot about the Barossa. But Ando, obviously, we've got a sponsor from out Gawler way as
well.
Don't
say Damien sponsoring us.
Damien, yeah, and he still owes you a blind apartment,
He does. He told me that, but he's hard yards. Hard yards.
I went in and saw him, reminded him of
Exchange Hotel.
At the Exchange Hotel, so I think that's what got him on board. But good spot down there. I've been in trouble from the coach a few times on a Friday night. It's a bit of a nightclub out there, so curfew. You have curfews for cricket season, and sometimes they get broken.
Is that just as long as you can walk out and not fall out of the pub? Is that the time to leave?
The coach, he back in his day was a bit of a drinker as well, so I think he knows what we're up to, so that was all good.
We've got a lot of famous clubs in the Barossa League, and we've got Tanunda and Nuri, of course. I mean, they still going to be as strong as they always have been over the years?
Yeah, well, those two especially, they played off in the grand final last year, Tanunda and Nuri. So Nuri obviously had the wood over them last year, so they're going to be the top two again, I think. And then, you've got clubs like Angaston who have recruited really, really well. They've basically got a SANFL League midfield running around for them this year. And, most clubs this year have added talent. We spoke about Teacher Valley losing some players before. A couple of those boys have come into the Barossa and had an impact from the start.
Do you still have the point system though? I mean, you can't just go out and grab 6 players from the SNFL and just put them straight into a lineup. Because they're worth 3 or 4 points, you get a maximum 15, so you still can't go crazy in that way.
You can't, and obviously now with salary cap as well, there's 2 things you got to worry about. So, if you're rotting away at the bottom for a couple of years, the maximum points you can get is 15. But the more wins you have, the less points you get. So not everyone's on the equal amount of points. So a team like Angaston this year, who they've struggled for a number of years, they've got maximum points. But a club like Tanunda or Nuri, they might only have 9.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different.
We've already had round 1, and of course, fantastic for the league because they live streamed it, the game of the match of the round. How'd that go?
Mate, it's been very, very well accepted by the league, all players, clubs. So what we did
great idea.
Oh, it's fantastic. All games were recorded. And then myself and Sean Jackson, Jacko, we went out and we covered the South Gawler Angaston games live to Facebook and whatnot as well. So, the league, they've already jumped on it. Coaches, I know down at Gawler Centrals, they've used it for tools with the players, showing the players, taking it through. It's technology and information that we haven't had to us before out there. So it's been.
And the players will love it.
Everyone loves watching.
Mum and Dad, Grandpa, Grandma watching on live stream, our games on TV or internet. Fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, they love it. I'm not sure about a couple of the old supporters. I know watching the Gawler Central Kapunda live stream back, the sporting club president, you can hear him in the background calling the umpire Goose all day. So I'm not sure if they would have liked it, but the players certainly loved it.
And how the new rules with the AFL and how they sort of they able to be implemented into the country league, or some are too hard and a bit of more of a think tank for this year? Yeah,
they certainly had the option to implement it. I think what the league's more worried about is working out clash strips for Angaston and South after Saturday's debacle. But look, I think they might put that in the too hard basket for now with some of those rules. It's too hard with. You have they struggle for umpires, the league as it is. So, you've got 2 blokes that really are probably in their 50s, 60s plus, trying to monitor enough rules as it is. And the Barossa crowds, they're not very forgiving either. So,
no, because I think one of the rules is that the water isn't able to be run out until a goal's been scored. And that's probably all right in the AFL because you've probably got 10 volunteers that are ready to go. But some of the country, you might have one young fellow who gets a pint of Coke after the game to run out a bottle of water, and and he's not going to get to too many players after a goal's been scored.
No, well, I think the average age of a water boy is probably 11, so he's not, and it's obviously not as high scoring as AFL, so yeah, they can't implement that sort of thing.
So does each country set up so you got the Murray Bridge League, say for instance, do they look at what rules they'll implement, or as the whole sort of SNFL umbrella? There's a figurehead that will say this is what we're going to put into all the leagues right across the board.
Yeah, look, they don't get told they have to implement these rules. It's more so probably there if you want to implement these rules. You look at the SNFL doing the kicking out of bounds rule. That's not in country footy. It's still the throwing. Things like the one I'd love to see is the 666 rule.
Yeah.
But again, that's going to be quite hard to monitor. But I just think that opens the game up.
So I think there should be now two figureheads. One that looks after the AFL and Foxtel, which could be called either AFL or Foxtel because Foxtel seems to own the AFL. And I understand time's money in the TV world, that's great. But you can't implement that into the SNFL and other leagues around Australia, because it's becoming a different game than what we know it.
Yeah, and it's too many rules.
Because you look at basketball is played at the top level this way, and at the bottom level the same way.
Yeah.
And now we've got our elite that we're watching, are there, and we're playing a different game everywhere else.
Yeah, and basketball's probably a good point. I think the AFL, and you listen to coaches talk about what they've done in terms of going and seeing facilities and whatnot. They're probably going. The AFL's probably going that basketball way, and then leaving the rest behind to be its own setup as such. So I think your basketball's a good one to use. Is that it will be two separate bodies essentially.
It's gone that way, isn't it? Some of these rules. I mean, some of these rules that we've known since the 1900s or the late 1800s, and so much has changed in our game for TV. But I just don't see why it should be implemented into the game that we know and love.
Yeah, and that's exactly country footy, especially the Barossa League. It's still all it's not. It's not a fast game like the amateurs and that are. It's a heavily contested game, and that's why it's so good to watch. And this year, I don't think we'll see we haven't seen until now a stronger Barossa light and Waller competition.
The pace has picked up in the league because of the influence of the more the running style of game and not so much one-on-one and more the getting back and then pushing forward. So a little bit of that sort of AFL, SNFL flavour to even the Barossa League. I know Brett Backwell was saying they would implement it in A1 amateurs.
Yeah, well, you saw on Saturday covering Angiston and South, two new coaches into the competition, and James Shannon, who obviously spent a lot of time at SNFL level, and Jack Osborne, who's a premiership player for Sturt for South Waller. So he made, I know, and they had Mark Bornholm as their ruckman. He made Mark Bornholm look small, so he's a massive man. But they both played two presses.
All your rotations and all that sort of stuff.
Bench rotations, like in Barossa, and I said this on Saturday, you see Summerton, Shannon, some of these big names all coming to the bench for a spell. Sometimes they'll just run them all day and not bring them to the bench. So you can see that a little bit more.
So they're more accepting now, and they have to accept that in football.
Yeah, and it's more professional as well.
I tried to introduce it many years ago when I was watching the AFL and the SNFL was really implementing in theirs. And I said to our players, look, you're keen for us to do this rotation. It seems to be working for the SNFL and the AFL. And everyone said, oh yeah, we want to play like the AFL and the SNFL. Of course we do, So anyway, I had this little rotation going. I said, this number 12, he's first off on the rotation at the 6 minute mark, and he won't come off. He's not coming off. I finally, what do I have to come off for?
Yeah.
So anyway, after all these years, it's finally accepted.
Yeah, that's it. It gets to a stage where they're looking for that breather. But I know sitting on the bench for a while with all essentials, the runner comes back with some interesting words for the coach from the players that are being told to come off. So no, it's good. It's good to see the competition really take that next level.
And some other big names that's floating around in the country league or the Barossa League.
Yeah, there's a lot everywhere. I mean, you look at the Barossa, you've got we've already touched on Osborne, Steve Summerton for Angiston. Actually got tagged pretty well by a 19-year-old on the weekend. Took him to the square and kicked 3 on him. So around the ground, it was actually the young fella did quite well. Ended up getting best on ground for South.
Wow.
But Somerton went to smart decision by Anderson. Took him 1 out in the square, pushed everyone up, and ended up slogging.
And that's where he sort of.
Yeah, and he looks a classy operator. He's got blokes
Not
like.
get Somerton.
Oh, yeah, they've got blokes like Steve Rusker, who, he was right around the mix to be drafted through probably 3 or 4 years of 18s through to 21. He's played a lot of footy up in the Northern Territory in the summer as well. So they stopped Somerton. Rusker, I reckon, had 30 to half time. So, big names. Lee Resick, obviously from North Adelaide, a bit of a cult hero down there.
Yeah.
He's out at Barossa Districts this year. We were a bit stiff at Gall Essentials. We thought we had him signed, sealed and delivered. So disappointed to see him end up at Barossa. But and we spoke Bornholm. There's Josh Whitwer and Paddy White that have all
So
played.
country footy's just in a big tick at the moment.
Oh, it's going to be great, and it's a great time for us.
We've got to get some guests on. We've got to get some guests on because I had a little bit to do with Moona Footy Club that won the grand final last year. Could not believe the standard. You're saying how good the standard is. The Barossa. We talk about the Murray Bridge League. So I think footy's fantastic all around the state, which is brilliant.
I got into some of the big names and some of the big characters, and they actually started to get a little bit shy. So hopefully we get them on in the next couple of weeks and have a bit of fun with them.
Yeah. Thanks very much. Great wrap up. Brilliant. We'll be back shortly.
Just one more, Rocky said, just the report.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the stock.
I'd rock out.
Let me know when you.
So do you want me to read
And then give you all well.
Yeah. See, Spud. See, mate. How's that page going? The page is going true.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yes, of course. Yeah. I bet you. Shane Gill. Yeah, I went to school with. Yeah. So I reckon we bumped into each other many years ago. Yeah. I do remember you now. Yeah. Yeah, it's good fun. It's all good fun. And get better at it and all that sort of stuff. Just like it shortly.
Loaded him up with a few questions.
Yeah.
You're not ready for it. I'll give you a couple on Timmy when you great mate Timmy Genoway.
Oh, geez, I've played him as well. You don't get a word in there, that's the thing.
I'm going to ask you one question. Just say, Timmy, who was the first in the SAFL? Who was the first club to play a premiership? You don't even know it, do you?
Yeah,
Under 15? No, under 15?
No, it was Woodville team, under 30.
Oh, well, that might be,
No, it's mate. Nice to meet you.
Under 15s.
Under 15, and him played at Norwood with Jane Fantastic.
Under 15s.
And Sam Boyd Cup.
It was at 7-0.
Yep.
I played him as well.
Yeah, so me and him played for Norwood.
Oh, right. And I reckon we played against West Torrens in the grand final.
We played Southern District or something like that. But we won the grand final.
Okay.
Norwood won it, and Timmy Brewer and Norwood beat us. He never saved, he hasn't said
He kept that very
He
low.
kept it very, very quiet. You've got to bring it out. You've got to bring it out and show
Bring it
it
out.
and just say, Timmy, tell us the story.
Right?
Well,
Your homework?
Yep.
You happy?
Yeah, very happy.
You'll appreciate the torch after all this work.
Yeah.
We'll keep going, get your homework.
Don't worry, that'd be good.
Okay. You right?
Yep.
Okay, let's catch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And welcome back to Before the Bounce. I'm Greg Anderson, my co-host Matty Knight. We're getting there slow, so it's been a fun show.
It's been
Isn't it great having a little bit of a live audience at the Alma, which is great. Thanks, Roo.
No, it's been beautiful, mate.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Now we've got the stock report, which is a very interesting segment. I like it. It's sponsored by my good mate David Pittman and from Taylor Collison. So thanks, Pitto. It's nice to finally get a little few dollars out of his pocket, because I'm telling you that's hard at the best of times. But tell us a bit about the segment.
Yeah, so It's a segment where we're going to basically decide whether we want to buy, sell, or hold. So we're going to talk about clubs, players, rules, all sorts of things.
Throw one at me.
And
Throw one at me, Matty,
go
come on.
from there. So we want to start with the AFL 50-metre penalty. At the moment, it's finding it to be very soft, mate. What are your thoughts?
I think for me, it's hold. I think it's hold because I tend to agree. I think they've got to get it right. I think it's 50 metres is definitely part of the game, which but I think at the moment it's a little bit soft, and they've just got to work on getting it right. So for me at the moment, just hold.
Yeah, I think there's ones where it's fair, but then there's a couple
It's a big
of rules.
punishment.
There's a couple of rules like crossing through that even when they look like they're trying to get away and they get things. I think you got to work out. That decides a game. So you've got to work that one out.
It's a big punishment, and you're right. There's a that one time that when they played, he's not crossing, but just he's running on an angle rather than apparently into that corner, and all of a sudden that 50, the player doesn't know what's going on. The player should always know on the penalty, always know, and they don't know. So just hold.
Yeah, and obviously, big talking point over the last few years is the slide rule, taking of the knees.
I say keep it. I really hold. I think it's a great rule. I think it's really dangerous players sliding in for knees and ankles and so one undisciplined slide, you're going to get the free kick away for trip, but not only that, you could take a player out for 12 months. Well, I think it's a good one.
I think what it does is it encourages players to keep their feet, not go to ground.
So we're buying it, aren't I? I'm buying that. I got it wrong then. I'm buying that.
You want to buy it?
I want to buy
yeah,
it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. No,
Good buy.
Now, new big one, favourite of mine, the 666 rule.
I like it. I think it's a great rule. I'm buying that one as well. I don't like seeing the ball bounce, and you've already got the flood. You've already got your 12 players down there. It makes them work to go down if the knee beat, and if the ball can get out quickly, you've really got an advantage. And that's what it should be like, because it's the two big ruckman now. It's even more important. We know how important the ruckman are, but it's so important now because if they get a clear tap, they're going to get straight down to the mouth of their goals. Great rule. And
do you reckon that rule is going to bring back the big forwards, and maybe we'll see a 100-goal season again?
Well, you'd like to think so, because you do miss the Locketts and the Modras and the Timmy Evans, my era. You do miss that, and if you can get that tap, you can get it down to your on ballers, and they're going straight to full forward, and it's I think it's going to again perhaps bring in what we've always known as a real exciting part of our game. How much fun as a kid, I've done it 2 or 3 times, ran in the Oval when Timmy Evans kicked 100 goals, or it was Lockett or Tony Modra. I remember I was at Prince's Park when Mods kicked his 100th, and the crowd went crazy. So it's a big part of our game. So maybe you're right, cross our fingers.
Hopefully we are. Big one in the off season. We thought Richmond they won the flag 2 years ago. We thought they were going to bring him back. This was going to bring him back. Tom Lynch, Richmond's big recruit in the off season, probably hasn't been as effective.
Well, he hasn't been as effective at all. I mean, I think in his first game, I reckon he dropped about 5 marks. You could see he was nearly there, but he didn't take the mark. That's that, So he puts pressure on himself. He's probably lucky and unlucky, really, because the talking points have been, no question, the players that they've lost, a couple of really big players. But if they hadn't lost those players, the ball was going to get down probably a lot quicker and a lot better than it is at the moment, because they're losing some big stars. So I say hold.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Hold on him. He's going to take time. He's still not that old. He's still got a lot of footy in front of him.
He's a gun player. He's a gun player.
He'll come
at the moment. The whole playing will be disarray, losing 2 unbelievable players. I mean, we're talking unbelievable players, household names, and there's not too many of those in the AFL these days.
No, that's exactly right. Big one for all Crows fans. Might not like it, Eddie Betts.
Oh, Eddie's always one of my favourites. I just love him around goals. We talk about the disposal of the Crows of the moment. The on-ballers going into the forward lines. I think Tex Walker touched on it a little bit during the week. The ball needs to get to our tools for Eddie to have a chance and get in there quickly. It's not happening. So I think we've got to look at the engine first, getting the ball, but it's got to make sure that let's use it, guys. Let's use it.
So you're holding?
I'm holding. No, I'm buying Eddie.
Buying?
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to hold him. I think he's,
okay.
he's probably been a bit disappointing, but he produces magnets.
You can't say that in Mark Rasciuto's pub at the Alma. The thing's thrown us in a minute.
Well, yeah, that might not go down well, but
Sorry about that.
we'll be
Okay,
right.
he's a favourite.
He'll bounce back and
Yeah, he will.
he'll kick his 3 or 4 a game. Now, one that it's disgusting to me, North Melbourne.
Yeah, stink.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the moment. I mean, I saw it on Facebook, and I know it's a pretty nasty form of media at times, and poor old Scott's he's getting hammered at the moment, and he's not living the goods, and he's picked up some good players. They paid a fortune for Polak and those sort of players. I'm not saying anything with Polak because he actually played. He's starting to get some form. He's been good, but to be 0-3. It's I would say for their supporters and the AFL, big question mark. What the hell's going on down there?
Well, I agree. I obviously watch them.
I'm
very,
going selling.
very closely.
I'm selling.
I'm with you.
Selling.
I'm selling. Sending down to Tassie.
And I know you're a supporter, but you've had enough of North Melbourne.
Had enough of just being average.
Just
Being
average,
around
yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, you've at times you've got the team. Everything's just falling into place, and you still can't make an impact as a club.
Oh, we got blokes like Mason Wood that shows glimpses and doesn't come on. Blokes that just burn the footy tomorrow. And I think Goldie's probably struggling as well. We're struggling across the board, and is that buying to the coach? Is it? I'm not necessarily saying
Can't always blame the coach.
Everyone's quick to go to the coach, but there's got to be something behind the scenes happening that isn't going right.
It's interesting because you look at we chatted with Johnny Platten before, and you look at Seedler Hall. Every decade, we're looking at the 70s powerful, 80s powerful, 90s powerful, 2000. And the 10s they're powerful. North Melbourne just they had their little periods where they're very strong, but never consistent. So as a club, it must be pretty frustrating.
It is very, very, very frustrating. So I think go out.
I'm not rubbing it in at all.
No.
Not rubbing it in.
That's right. I do enough damage to myself. So I reckon we go out, target someone like Paul Roos, and try and change it all around.
Oh, you reckon Paul Roos?
I reckon. I'm a big fan.
Okay.
I reckon get him down there.
Yeah.
Change it. Pay him whatever you got to pay him. Get him down there. Have a clean out. And let's
I'll
start
throw
again.
why don't you, Grundy, Rutland for Collingwood. He's been a little bit average this year. Going to be offered obviously a massive check to come home to
As
the
they
Crows.
should.
What do you think Grundy's thoughts would be at the moment? Do you think it's a buy, sell, or hold?
I think if you got the opportunity, you've got to buy him.
Yeah.
I think he's still 24, 25.
But him personally, do you think he should buy the Adelaide Footy Club, or do you think he's going to put it on hold? Just a bit of insight, that's all. Just a bit of insight.
I actually think he'll stay. I think he'll stay at Collingwood. Obviously, one of the biggest clubs in Australia. They've looked after him for a long period of time. I actually think he'll stay, even though the Crows will throw.
I reckon buy Adelaide. I reckon he's going to buy it. I reckon he's going to buy it.
Is that inside word or
no inside word at all? But I reckon he could buy it. We'll see what happens in in
Obviously
25,
fans
26
in that
times.
back
Yeah, it's a big lure. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
We talk
absolutely.
about the Kimmy Costa and other Darren Jarman, of course, the same. They wanted to come back home. So
Sauce going down, it's certainly shown a weakness in Adelaide's lineup. hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Sauce has been just brilliant. When he plays, he's brilliant. But when he's not on the side, it's a massive hole. It's a massive hole. Matty, and of course, that's a fun segment.
It's been
That's a
good.
fun segment.
That's
So
good.
David Pittman, thank you very much, and all the guys at Taylor Collison, thank you very much. It's been a great show.
Been excellent.
Really enjoyed it. All the Alma, thanks to Rue and all his staff for making us feel so welcome. For all our live audience, thank you, and all our viewers, thank you so much. We've had a ball, and we look forward to seeing you next week.